Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Call the Cops. My name is Officer Jamie Keneally. As always, a big show in store. Tonight we're talking about R.A.D. And R.A.D, R-A-D, is an acronym for Rape, Aggression, Defense, Rape, Aggression, Defense System. And it's a great self-defense program designed, for the most part, for women. And tonight we happen to have two top-notch trainers in the house, Sergeant Eric Krause and Billy Jones. Both of them here tonight to answer the question, what can you do? What can you do to protect yourself in the event of an attack, an assault? Well, take a look at some of the video. This is the R.A.D class in action, and we're going to be talking about R.A.D, what you can do to sign up for it, and basically, folks, how it's going to help you, again, protect yourself in the event you get attacked. R.A.D is the topic of tonight's show, Rape, Aggression, Defense System. All right. Ton of calls to our office anyway. A lot of people angry and upset at the Boston Globe. Angry and upset for good reason. And I don't know if you saw this, but this past Sunday in the Boston Globe, they outed, if you will, the anonymous tipster who provided the tip that led to the arrest of Whitey Bulger. And you know what, folks? Let me just say this. It's one thing to have the information. It's another thing to report it. A responsible news organization knows the difference. Safe to say the Boston Globe didn't know the difference, and the decision to out that tipster was ridiculous, irresponsible, and just plain bad, just a bad decision all around. But a lot of people upset, and they're upset for good reason. All right, don't know if you missed this, but BPD recently dedicated a plaque in memory, and here it is right here, in memory of Officer Andrew Cuneo. Cuneo was not only the first Italian-born police officer, but sadly he was the first Italian-born police officer killed in the line of duty. He was killed in August of 1921 after confronting an armed suspect in the North End, but this past Saturday, and how cool is this, 90 years after that tragic day, the mayor, the police commissioner, and a whole bunch of members of the Boston Police Department family gathered together in the North End to say, Andrew Cuneo, we will never forget you.
Who was making his duty here in the United States. It means honoring all the Italian-American community, their hard work, their resilience, and their achievements. That's why it was very important for me to be here.
And as this has unfolded and his story and all the research that Officer Anthony did, it was just remarkable how clearly my dad remembered him and remembered him so well.
Nice ceremony, to say the least. All right, you got to love it when cops and kids come together. This was the case this past week at the Tobin Gym over on Tremont Street. Members of the BPD, led by, and I say led by Deputy Superintendent Darren Greeley. We use that term kind of lightly, but Bobby Griffin with a nice floater for 2 of his 10 points in this ball game. This was a heck of a game. Came down to a couple overtimes. Danny Mulhern here with the pass to the deputy and the basket. It was, I think the game was tied at the half, but as for your leading scorer, get a load of Bruce Higgins. Bruce with 2 of his 25 right here, but it wasn't enough because the BPD team lost 76-74, but a great game.
A good pickup game against the police, the Boston Police Department, different units. And we just want the kids to basically trust in the cops and know that they're not the bad guys, that it's okay to talk, hang, and relate to them any which way possible.
I wanted to get kids in the inner city working with cops, you know, on a different basis and on the streets, just to play a little game of basketball, get to know one another. So they see us as them, as we're kids at heart, and want to play a little ball together.
It's good. I mean, a lot of the guys still live in the city, and it's important to them. They're residents of the city, and they enjoy it. They're all competitive, and they're all athletes, and most of the guys have kids out there, so they enjoy being around kids, and it's just a positive for both the kids and the police officers.
And when you're surprised not to see Billy Jones out there, Billy's a heck of a ball player. Okay, we'll just leave that at that. All right, Operation North Star. Got to love this program, everybody. Continuing to do their outreach, or reach out, if you will. Recently at the Elks in West Roxbury, looking to sign up some folks. The program, as you probably know, is designed for folks with Alzheimer's or kids with autism. And in many of these cases, the kids or the elderly folks have a real difficult time communicating, what they need and when they're found. In many cases, wandering. Again, most of the folks here have a tendency to wander. So if you have a loved one with an issue, or again, a loved one with Alzheimer's, or a young child or child with autism, this program is definitely for you. Deputy Nora Baston, Officer Michelle Maffeo, both heavily involved in this program. So for more information, feel free to check out BPD News to get just that.
Unbelievable. The community, you know, either walking around, going to community meetings, or just interacting on the street. People are, you know, it's long overdue.
You know, we had a great response from the parents, and we were out here today. We were getting all the appropriate information that we would need if they wandered off. We have, you know, we got digital photos as well, and we had a good overall turnout for day one.
About 15 kids. All right, how's this for unbelievable? BPD recently conducted a sting of several small businesses in the Dudley Street, Lower Blue Hill Ave, and Grove Hall section of Roxbury. And come to find out, and again, this is pretty unbelievable, 14 stores were guilty of selling drug paraphernalia. You know, stuff like crack pipe kits, stuff like that. Take a look at the video. I'm not making this stuff up. And as for the question, who's the first to complain about the increase in drug activity in these particular areas? Who do you think that might be? Yeah, I'm guessing it might be some of these very same small businesses. Unbelievable. All 14 were summoned for violation of drug laws. That is unbelievable to me. All right, take a look at the video you see there now. We're talking about R.A.D tonight, folks. It's the Rape Aggression Defense System, program designed for women primarily, and it answers the question, what can you do to help protect yourself in the event of an attack of some kind? Gotta love the bladed stance, courtesy of Rafi Rodriguez and Antoinette, Officer Antoinette Ramsey, thank you. Two of the instructors of this program. We get two, as you see in the video, we've got two in-house. And again, this program, it's a great program. Plain and simple, for folks looking for something that's gonna, again, help them in the event that, God forbid, they find themselves in a situation where they're being, they're facing an attacker. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at tonight's two stellar guests. Gotta love the shirts, gentlemen. Let me just say the color coordination is awesome. Not even a thank you for that?
Thank you.
All right, before we get started, you have somebody you need to say hello to?
Just the family. I got to say hello to my daughter Courtney, my son Sean, and my wife.
Okay.
Sharon.
I'd like to say hello to my daughter Michaela, my wife Patty, my son Justin.
Nobody wants to say hi to Lieutenant Hardy?
Who?
Lieutenant Hardy. I thought you guys might want to say hi to him. All right. Davey, feel free to roll some vids as we discuss the topic tonight. But first things first, R.A.D, what is it? Start with you, Eric. What are we talking about?
Well, as you said, it stands for Rape Aggression Defense. For us, we teach the basic course for women. There are other programs available, one specifically for men, for seniors, and for younger kids. But we teach the basic self-defense course for women. It's a 4-session program. So there's a lot of people call and they want to come on, say, the Tuesday class or the Thursday class.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's all 4 classes.
4 classes. What's the commitment time-wise? Each class is what? An hour long, 2 hours long?
About 2.5 hours for each class. So it's a bit of a commitment, but for those that take it and complete it, we have a lot of positive evaluations of the program.
How long have we been doing this for?
We, in our district, for about 3 years. Other districts have had it much longer.
Okay. But on District E13, Jamaica Plain, Roxbury, you guys have been doing it for 3 years. You got a class going on right now. That was the footage you guys were seeing there. Where's the class that's going on right now?
It's in a community center in Jamaica Plain, the Nate Smith House, which typically we'll do it at a community center, wherever the space that we can get within the community. And then people that want to take it, and we'll offer the course.
All right. And Billy, let me ask you, why is it important for us to be doing something like this, to offer a class like this?
Oh, it's good for the community. I mean, we know that women get attacked within our community, and so to try to give them a heads up, to try to get them to be proactive for their own safety, to be thinking about different issues. When we talk about the training of R.A.D, we talk about risk awareness, risk recognition, risk reduction, and then risk avoidance. So what we want to do is we want to try to get women thinking in those terms, and then we give them some minimal, bare bones, basic, if you would, self-defense techniques that if they take heed and pay attention in class and then go home and practice, there's a strong possibility that they might be able to help themselves get out of a bad situation.
Look, we're just looking at some of the video there, and Davey, throw that up there again. We were talking earlier. What's kind of the one thing that jumps out with you guys in the class the participants tell you about? And I think you had touched on it earlier, Billy, just the fact that women in general, maybe the folks in this class aren't used to throwing punches. Is that one of the things that comes out in the class?
Yeah, it's empowering. You know, they get a chance, someone the first time in their lives, to actually throw some punches, and we finalize the class where we get dressed up in the red man suits, and then they really get to, throw some punches and kicks. And I think it surprises them to see how powerful that they can be in their kicks and punches, that they could get away from an attacker, and they can succeed and they can survive. That's the main goal of this program, is that you get away from this person, not to be involved in an epic battle or fight, a stunning hard blow or kick, and to escape.
So it isn't about trading blows.
Absolutely not.
Okay, and going on the attack.
Correct. It's not a martial arts program. It's a self-defense
program. Although you guys
program.
look like martial artists. I just have to say that right now.
Thank you.
Not a martial arts, but...
It's my sensei.
Sensei Jones. Arigato us. But it's just about one hit and go?
Absolutely. The idea is to do what you have to do to try to escape. If that means you have to strike the individual, the notion of this whole program, the beautiful thing about this program is that the idea is that they take everything to heed. The first night of class is all book work. It's all talking about these issues of safety and awareness, paying attention to your surroundings. Examples would be walking out of the T station late at night and having your headphones on, so you're taking a sense away so you can't hear somebody in case they were to sneak up on you. Paying attention to your surroundings where you're getting off the tee and you happen to notice that maybe somebody's following you getting off the tee. Pay attention to that. Trust those feelings. You know, wait till maybe you make a phone call, get some help, ask somebody to come by, have the police come by and check you out. Things of that nature. So
the headphone thing seems like an obvious one, but maybe not so obvious. I mean,
you can go outside of almost any T station at a prime time. People come home from work, after 5, 6 o'clock, and maybe see 60%, 70% of the people either on their cell phone, distracted, texting, or worse, with the headphones in. To take away one of your primary senses like that, it's just dangerous. There's a time and place for that. During the times when robberies are more likely to occur, you need to be paying attention to your surroundings.
It's funny, a good point, like you're watching people come home from the tee, headphones on, head down, kind of like, leave me alone, don't bother me. And they want to almost shut themselves out or off to what's going on, but probably not a good thing to do.
Absolutely not safe. I mean, one of the examples I give with women is I explain to them that if I was walking down the street late at night and it was dimly lit, I'd be walking in the middle of the street, if for no other reason, to give myself maybe that extra second or two if somebody was to jump out and try to attack me behind a car. It's the same thing for them. If I would do that, why wouldn't they consider doing that? And so little tidbits like that. And the notion with this program is that if they take heed to this 90%, which is the mental aspects, the thinking, the awareness, the recognition of threats, and then how to deal with them, there's a good possibility that they could avoid the attack altogether.
Yeah, it's nice to you train these folks. Okay, throw the one punch and get out. But just how important, and Eric, I'll have you answer this one. Just the simple awareness that at any time, any given place, you yourself, in fact, could become a victim, and to think otherwise sets yourself up probably for some problems. But just how important is just increasing the awareness aspect of it.
It's probably the biggest part of the program, because this isn't a long-term training like a martial arts program. So we're trying to go over this time and again, reduce the opportunities to become a victim of a crime, and avoidance is a big part of that. We all know if you're downtown when all the bars get out at 2:15, 2:30 in the morning, there's more likely something could happen to you at that time, whether it's a fight that goes or an attack. Sometimes you can avoid those situations altogether, and you're less likely to become a victim.
I just noticed in some of the video that the bladed stance, a pronounced bladed stance, seems like a pretty important thing. How important is that, Billy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And Rafael Rodriguez is one of the best instructors of that bladed stance.
Ralph, we got to send a shout out to you, buddy. You have one of the best bladed stances that I've seen in some time. We all can agree on that?
Absolutely.
We'll show some video of that bladed stance.
The Ralph stance.
How much can you teach somebody in 4 sessions? I mean, 4 sessions, 3 hours. Is there enough time to teach folks enough so that they can?
We talk about that you need you need to practice it, whether it's what they've learned here or getting involved in another course. So it's great that we have Antoinette Ramsey involved, because she's like this close to her black belt that she's been training for now for about 3 years.
Okay.
So she has brought people over to her program, and people have furthered that education. So it's important, like we know as police officers, muscle memory, years of training at the range, so that you react automatically to a threat. So it's not going to happen in a 4-day course, but it's the start of a building block of something that...
So that's what you're hoping. Introduce folks to, hey, listen, here are the things you need to think about. Here are a couple things you can do to protect yourself, but ultimately, if this is something that's important to you, why not sign up for martial arts or more increased or better self-defense program?
Absolutely. And again, the mental aspect of it, if they're paying attention, they get a book that they can take home and they get to keep, so they can always be reviewing that if they wanted to. And if they work on that, if they pay attention to their surroundings, again, it's that awareness aspect. Maybe they get lucky and be able to totally avoid an attack.
So in 4 weeks, okay, 3 hour sessions, what's one of the more important things, what's the most important thing you're trying to convey to folks? When they leave and they're done with the training, what's the one thing you want to make sure they take from this?
Awareness, of your surroundings. Whether you're out in a building you've never been into the first time, where are your exits, in case there's an emergency. When you're walking around on the street, you're looking around for a potential threat, staying away from, darkened areas, because so many people are distracted more than ever now with all the electronic devices. So it's that first step in preventing something from happening is awareness.
Awareness is key. So becoming less of a victim. The awareness is key, and making sure people don't have the opportunity to make you that victim. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Billy?
Well, the way that I look at it is it's called empowerment. We get these women to believe in themselves and believe that just with the information that we gave them and with the limited amount of techniques that we showed them, that they could survive an attack. And so it's that I will survive mentality. And we try to instill that into them so that they believe in themselves.
Yeah, that believe in self, that confidence is, I imagine, huge. There's that bladed stance we referred to earlier. It's a heck of a bladed stance. Now, this seems like a pretty full class, the one that you have right now. Anywhere between like 15 to 20 participants, that's safe to say?
In this class, yes. They vary from class to class, and there's been a lot of attention to it after the women were attacked in Dorchester.
In Dorchester, recently. Absolutely. So did you start to get calls as a result of?
We had got a lot of calls and emails from all around the city asking about the program, and then and recently too there was a young girl from Newton who actually was vacationing in Aruba. There was an article in the paper, and she was interviewed on some of the news channels, who took the R.A.D program and talked about that as what helped her survive that attack when she was attacked, I think, coming out of a bar or out of a bathroom in a bar.
Yeah. And that's what she said. I didn't realize that she credited
the
R.A.D program to giving her.
She had just got done taking it. I think it was Woburn.
Newton.
Interesting. Yeah. But this is a national program, right? This isn't just restricted to Massachusetts. I was looking at some of the information.
Largest in the nation.
Over 300,000 people or 300,000 women have been through the program.
Yes, very popular in our college campuses, for teen girls, young girls. It's a great program for young girls, the age of 14 or so or older, just to hear a lot of these things.
That's a great question, though. Who's this program designed for? Ideally, somebody 14 and above?
Yes.
Okay. Your daughter has taken the program?
She has.
Okay. Yes. Billy?
No.
Michaela?
Always been a time and conflict issue.
Okay.
She's an avid swimmer.
But something you want, I mean, it's something you would encourage and have one of your loved ones participate in.
Absolutely, yes.
So no question there.
Absolutely.
After your first class, have you guys had 2 classes so far? How many classes you get left here with this present course?
The last class is just wrapping it up tonight, actually. It's been going on since 6 o'clock. And the final one is next week when we get dressed up in the suits. And
when is that class?
That's next week.
What day?
I'm telling you that.
I got to go to that one. No, but we had you guys on. I think it was you and who was you when we talked about R.A.D before? It was you and Officer Charbonnier. Mike Charbonnier was on, and we had some footage, grainy footage, if you will, of the red suit thing going on, and that was some pretty powerful, kind of impressive stuff. Like you said, it culminates in that, I guess, that last class graduation, if you will. But it seemed like there were some breakthrough moments for some of the, for some of your participants, where they were going to school on the red man, or whoever the person was in the red suit.
I'm very thankful for that suit. I've been, you know, because we don't teach them to fight clean; they fight dirty.
Oh, you know.
So
You encourage them fighting dirty.
Oh yeah, they're kicking
Okay.
us. You know, they're kicking
Family
us.
jewels are
Oh,
not
absolutely.
not out of the equation.
No, not at all. So without that suit, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Is it? So do you teach a punch, a kick, or what do we teach? Do you teach everything? Is it? I mean,
Absolutely. We teach how to throw a proper punch, how to throw a block, how to throw kicks, how to escape from chokeholds, from bear hugs, from a man that's on a position attempting to rape a woman when she's on the ground on her back, when she's on the ground on her stomach.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so you guys cover quite a bit of stuff.
It's a lot of material in a really short amount of time.
In a four-week course.
And we encourage anyone's welcome to come back that took the program. There are some programs that do charge a fee. There's private programs out there.
Yeah.
Most of them are free. But once they finish the course, they can in turn go into any program for free, whether they charge or not.
It's a lifetime.
And so we encourage them to come back, even if they want to come back just for that 4th session, so they can, you know, get back to throwing some punches and
that's a
kicks.
good idea. That's nice to know.
So
but the class itself it costs what?
Nothing.
It's free of charge.
It's free.
I mean, how do you say no to that? So you guys, I imagine, are going to feel pretty good about offering something like this. Not only is it effective, there's no cost involved. I mean, it's really on folks, I think, from our end, just to get the word out and make sure that they're aware of it. But I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to participate in something like this.
Well, we know as police officers, we deal with the negative a lot more than the positive. So it's kind of nice to be involved in something where people are positive about it, and at the end, you hear positive things. So this is good. Yeah,
it's being part of the solution instead of always having to clean up the problem all the time. Really, how do you feel about instructing the program? Do you feel like you are kind of making a difference and giving back or something like that?
Absolutely. It's an absolute benefit for any woman to take the class. They're going to feel better about themselves. One of the good things about the class is that the women feed off of each other as well. We get out there and we instruct, and so we're trying to get them through a process, but in that process they start to feed off of each other, and so it really builds up an entire group, and then by the end everybody's cheering on each other, and then they go through the simulation, and a lot of times still we want to get them in the simulation to get that first taste of what it might feel like to maybe have that panic mode, and then we try to back them off of that because we don't, the notion is that they want to get right before that panic mode so they can still think and use the techniques that we teach them and survive an attack.
So how important is that, though, before that panic kicks in? You're telling them to be aware of that moment when you start to feel that, realize, try to slow things down and realize you're in a position to defend yourself. You get some...
Well, during the simulation training, what ends up happening is usually the first time that they go through, we usually have a couple of scenarios, 3 scenarios, sometimes a 4th. But the first scenario is where you'll see that come out of them. They'll be real hype because they don't know what to expect because we don't tell them. And then they see what goes on, everybody goes through, then they go through the second technique, and usually by that second technique, you'll start to see, okay, they're really starting to get it. Now they're starting to hit harder, they're starting to kick harder, You
guys are really starting to pick this thing up pretty quickly. Let's take it easy here. Simulation is what? How long? Is it a minute drill, a 2-minute drill? What goes on in the simulation?
Well, they have to work their way through it. So it's as long as for them to escape from the threat. And if they're using the skills that we taught them, and the voice is very important. Sort of like how you talk, very powerful.
Yeah,
like
thank you.
Yeah, very loud.
Kind of like the way you play the drums.
Exactly.
Okay.
Loud, anointing voices, they help.
Yes.
So they help a lot for that, and then using the punches and kicks, and they work their way through the scenario. So it depends on,
Yeah, we're gonna have you back because I remember the video we had. I think you guys would come at the person would hit, and if they ran the wrong way, you guys were like, "Yeah, no, the exit's that way. You're still in this, you're still in the scenario. Do what you're gonna do to get out." And they'd be like.
We'll bring a second if we get when we get some real fast ones, and we'll make sure we have a couple other attackers on standby. So they can't escape so easily.
All right, we're almost going to wrap up. But what are some of the feedback that you've been receiving so far, like from the folks who are, the women participating now? They come up to you after class and saying, "Wow, this is great! I can't believe I didn't take this sooner." What kind of things are they saying to you guys?
That type of thing over and over again is very empowering for them to go through the program. Reacted much differently than they thought they would. So it's been very positive thing.
Billy, what kind of things are they saying to you?
Even
women that have time this was, I can't believe I wasted my time with you, or what?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, the exact opposite. Women have come up to me that have taken martial arts courses and said that they were really impressed with the bare bones approach to this, because the way that we teach is we just teach the women having techniques that works strictly with their strengths. So we're not working two sides of the body. And then once they practice and they get better, then all of a sudden they realize that this stuff works.
To sign up, what do they need to do? Call you at E13 or?
Yeah, if they live in this area, they can call our office. Even if they don't, we'll direct them to their community service office. But if they can contact their local community service office in their neighborhood and ask if they have an active program.
Do you if you take it here in Boston, do you have to be a Boston resident?
No, not necessarily. Okay. But we would offer it open to those from our community first. If we had open slots, we'll take anybody.
So ideally, you're from the city. Well, just saying. I said it. You didn't have to say it. Relax. I'll get in trouble for that. How do they get a hold of you at E13 if they want to call you?
They can call 617-343-5624.
562-343-5624. And conditioning, how important is conditioning?
Well, we actually have the women that go through the course work at their own pace.
Yep.
So that's extremely important for the viewers to understand. They can get anybody. They can be as thin as a toothpick, or maybe as obese as myself, and they could simply just. I
don't think you're. I think you're.
Does he get that gift certificate?
Yeah, now? I think you're big bone. I think you're big bone, not obese. All right, Davey. As we say goodnight, we can show some more video of the RAD class. I want to thank tonight's guest, Billy Jones, Sergeant Eric Krause. We talked about RAD, the Rape Aggression Defense System. Folks, if you're out there, women in particular, if you're listening and you heard tonight's discussion, no reason at all for you not to take this course. It's free, it's effective, it works, and these guys know what they're doing. So without any further ado, thanks for watching. I should say thanks for talking.
Thanks for having us.
Because you guys did more than just watch. Thank you for watching. Until next week, have a great week, and be safe, everybody. Good night.